Hey, it's Adam Ward, and I'm just coming to you today. I want to talk to you about a book that I released in August. It became a bestseller on Amazon, and really thanks to all the people who have been reading it and who've been sharing it. There's people who've done some great reviews on it on Amazon, and I really appreciate that. It's called Lean Design in Healthcare. I've been using the hashtag LDH for social media. So if you talk about it or you're bringing it up, if you use hashtag LDH, that would be great. Appreciate it. Now, one of the titles that I was going to use was called Creating Systematic Innovation. It didn't make the cut. And also the hashtag CSI is in use by a popular TV series, so it'd be hard to wrest control from that. So anyway, lean design in healthcare is really about creating systematic innovation. So we want repeatable innovation. Innovation is defined in the book. And so what I want to do is I just want to talk about what are the highlights of the books that the book talks about, why you should buy the book, and what things you're going to get out of it. So the first thing is obviously this book is written for those in healthcare. It's in the title. But I picked this up not just from my days past 10 years working inside of healthcare, but the past 25 years that I've been doing innovation. And these are principles that go across any industry. This book is written specifically for healthcare, dealing with the people from healthcare. Primarily grassroots organizations that don't have a development or an R&D function or an innovation function if they want to set it up. But mature organizations that have it, that need a refresh, there's some principles in here that make you much more efficient, much better on the money. And I think you should pick up this book also and look at it. So the very first thing is we need to have a executive steering team. And so the first part of the book talks about the key people that are involved in that. Obviously the CEO, we've got the CFO, the Chief Operations Officer, Chief Operations Officer as well. The CIO today in the digital transformation, you can't do anything without them. And then the top technical people, who in this book is the Chief Nursing Officer and the Chief Medical Officer. So it talks about how as a team, what each of their roles are, what they're looking for, what's important to them. And you can imagine in your world, whether that's the healthcare world or whether that's manufacturing world or nonprofit, what those different roles would be. Now, outside of this executive steering team, we look at 4 fictitious characters. And these characters, so the book's written as a fable, so it's a story from beginning to end. It's not going to be a dry education book that just regurgitates facts. It is written as a story, it's conversation. The conversations are set up based on my experience, on what I've heard, working with various clients. So the core team members, so we've got Georgina. She leads the innovation team. We've got Suki, who's one of the product owners. And then we've got 2 innovators here, Luigi and Hogs. And so it talks about how these people learned from scratch to set up this innovation process, how they run it, the arguments they have, the chemistry that they have. It's a really unique friendship and working relationship that these people have. And so, the book covers that very well. Now, besides the core team, we also have this extended team. So it talks about the different people, the number of resources that you would want allocated, and how you want people to be involved there. And then outside of that, we also have an ad hoc team. So these are people that are being brought in on an as-needed basis, kind of curbsiders, if you will, that are necessary to deliver on a project-by-project basis. So these people are always on the project. These people are brought in project by project, and these are referred to as needed. One of the key things in setting up innovation is having the resources, the proper resources allocated to it. And there's a lot of talk about what needs to go into that. The book talks about the budget. The book talks about the space that's needed. It talks about the team and where they should be located, who they should be working for. So it really covers making sure the innovation resources are in place. One of the critical things, if we're going to create an innovation process, is what is the definition of it? So what are we going to use for the word innovation? Now, there's a whole section in the book debating why we came up with the definition for innovation, why these characters and these characters came up with that definition. I think you should start with that definition, look at it, study it, see why we came up with it, and then if you want to modify it, you can modify it from there. On top of the definition, when we talk about innovation, it's everything from idea to launch. So here I got my little SpaceX rocket ship and my light bulb. So that period of time that goes from idea to launch, you really need to have a framework around that. So in the book, I talk about a framework, some methodologies that are necessary to be successful. A lot of people are talking design thinking. A lot of people are talking about agile or the lean startup. And I just want to caution against using any one of those. And in the book, I talk about and compare and contrast them, and hoping that each organization will pull best practices from the methodologies that exist out there and create their own. Talk about stage gate versus an agile approach, and kind of which elements of those are important. So I think you'll get a lot of good benefit out of that. The last area is the toolkit. There's a whole chapter dedicated to the tools that you would use. So one of the comments I hear all the time is, if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So there's a couple nails, if you will, that are out there around decision making, and we really need to be able to understand what decisions are being made, how we're making them, how we're picking them. We need a way to prioritize a list of ideas that are coming in our funnel. So there's some tools there. How we're going to capture our work and what needs to get done. There's some tools around there. It's not a comprehensive list. It's just some basic tools that I see in every location that if people have, really makes their lives a lot better. Then the last section of the book is about reflections. So the C-suite and the innovation team are talking about, what are the corporate antibodies, as Phil McKinney refers to them, or no-nos, as John Collins, the change management expert, talks about. How do you deal with those? What are good methods and techniques for that? But also what things got in the way and what things worked and what things didn't work. It's a short read. The whole book's about 160 pages. And most of the people I talk to can read it in a couple of sittings or a flight or two. But I would encourage you to check it out. It's on Amazon. Again, it's called Lean Design in Healthcare. And I appreciate it if you buy it, write a review, share it with others. If you share it on social media, please use the hashtag LDH. If you make a comment on this video or share this video, I will put you in a drawing to receive a signed copy. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much.